How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the workbench. Today we're going to talk about building your own competition or Speedsoft Hi-Capa. Now, over the past few years I've been building these and I've sort of standardized my methods. I use pretty much the same parts every time. I build them pretty much the same way every time. And one of the first things that I look for if we're going to build a Speedsoft gun is the lightest slide possible, or the lightest slide on the market, either that I can get a hold of, because sometimes these are sort of hard to get a hold of. I just happen to have, luckily, 2 nano builds here, or 2 nano slides here, and I also personally do own a nano build myself. So the first thing I look for is the lightest slide possible, and I'm going to go ahead and we're going to weigh these for you. I'm going to break this on here, okay? Okay, so we've got 1.7 ounces, which roughly is going to come out to 45 grams that I have sort of figured out here. Go ahead and use your Google and go to the ounces. 1.7 ounces to grams. You can use your little conversion kit out. So we're going to go ahead. I do have this full nano build that we're going to use as an example. And I'm going to break this down and show you what a complete operating weight would be for the upper build on this. You're going to take out the guide plug, the guide rod, the barrel assembly. We are going to include this into our full operating weight. You can put that on there. Come out to 3.1 ounces. I did convert that already. You guys can go and convert if you want. 87.8 grams is what 3.1 ounces comes out to. Is 87.8 grams. And that is our full operating weight. You guys can see that we have a front sight. We do not have a rear sight. We have a rear sight cover. We do have a hammer protection pad. We do have a full 5.1 guide plug. And this is actually a guide plug that I had done specially. We do have, of course, the Airsoft Masterpiece lightweight version blowback unit, probably a garter nozzle, AIP 120%, and this is typically the way that I would build all of my builds standard like this. Normally I don't use sights because typically in a CQB situation you don't have time to aim. It's just point and shoot. And when you've been running these pistols long enough, you'll pretty much get the instinct shot down where you won't need sights, you won't aim, you will just point and shoot, and that's where the BB's going to go. For the guide rod, I do upgrade my guide rods to Airsoft Masterpiece. That's always a good thing to do. The stainless steel rods. This one I believe is aluminum. Yes, this is an aluminum 4.3. Just whatever your preference is, go for your preference. If you want a 5.1 rod with a 4.3 plug, or just a 4.3 setup with a 4.3 plug, that's up to you. The 4.3 rod and plug is going to be the easiest situation for you if you got like all kinds of short strokes on here. If you get the 5.1 rod, it does make it a little bit harder to fish in there. Okay, so for the Hopup unit, I stick with the Tokyo Marui stock Hopup unit, even though this is, a Maple Leaf. This isn't one of my builds. This is just one of those builds that someone else built. And I hate to break to you guys, but no Hi-Capa build is perfect. Even though maybe you built it yourself and you did all this customizing and upgrade to it, build about 20 of these and then get back to me. And we'll talk about perfect, alright? So... this one here, like I say, was not my build. I did not build this, but I do have this, and I've had this on my bench quite a few times. This is what we call one of those problem child builds, where it's been through so many different hands. There's just screws are stripped out. I got to go through the whole thing again. It's a nightmare. But anyways, we're going to use this as an example because, as I said, this is probably one of the lightest setups that you can come by without sights. But who uses sights, right? Sights. We don't need no stinking sights. Alright, so on to the rest of the build. We've got our 120% AIP recoil spring. And then I always use the Hi-Capa black buffers, and then either the metal one that comes in the kit right here. Just have some brand new ones that I just got from Blowback Masters right here. If you guys need anything, check Blowback Masters out. They usually have stuff in stock. Go ahead and use discount code Slaughter5 for 5% off. Check them out. They got super fast shipping, like 3 days for me. Just unbelievable. They've been taking care of me and a lot of my guys here in Michigan really good, man. So thanks, guys. Shout out to Blowback Masters. The two black Hi-Capa, and if you want to put, sometimes I'll use the blue one too if you want to stretch it out a little bit farther. But for the most part, 2 of these is going to be about your maximum for your 5.1 rods. Nozzle is usually first stock and then upgrade to a garter. The bucking, either keep the stock barrel and the inner bucking, or we're going to upgrade to the maple leaf blue. If you are going to upgrade your inner barrel, I don't recommend going with the 5.1. Go ahead and go with the 6. This one here is actually for a 4.3 build. I'm going to put a 5.1 barrel in the 4.3 build. So get that extra barrel length, stretch it out there as far as you can, and Lilacs, if you're watching, we need a 131 millimeter Hi-Capa barrel, okay? Not this 133 millimeter. This is for SOCOM 23. This is not for Hi-Capa. Do not buy this barrel. I'll tell you why later. So, barrel, hop-up unit, lightest slide you can find, 120% recoil spring, and for the lower, I do not touch anything on the lower. Pretty much if you want these little aesthetics, extra things like that, that's no problem. But I do not touch any kind of upgrades, anything in the lower. That's pretty much it, guys. Pretty standard. I've been doing these, been building these pistols like 6 years now, and I have just for the past 2 years pretty much standardized the way that I build them. My Hi-Capas generally runs very smoothly. Every now and then we do have a problem child like this one here. I do have a few of my personal Hi-Capa builds that I have done. They're sort of problem childs, but those receive a lot of abuse. The ones that I kind of have coming back every now and then with broken nozzles and miscellaneous things, those ones are seeing a lot of abuse, like Speedsoft, you know, tournament kind of abuse and stuff. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. I say this is pretty much how I build them. If you guys are interested in something like this, like I say, go for the lightest slide you can find possible. Get the lightest parts you can find possible. And if you want to build it just exactly the way I did, go ahead. I can't guarantee you're going to come out with the same results, but good luck to you. As always, rock on, heavy metal out.